This thing was meant to be dead about 40 years ago when quartz came along. Why do you think we gravitate to these objects that are, basically unchanged from the 17th century?
There's a history to them, They each tell a story, and a watch that, costs a good amount of money, but also there's a ton of work that went into it, and detail and attention and focus and so on. You feel that from it, and like you said before, you can pass these things down to your kids and so on, whereas, I know every couple of months my iPhone seems to bug out in some way and I have to replace it with something new.
Yeah.
These kind of watches you have for lifetimes, and I think it, as I said, they all tell a different story.
So many brands would have been chasing you for sort of a watch ambassadorship. Why did you choose TAG Heuer?
I just think of the best looking watch out there, across the whole range. Every watch has an incredible amount of detail and class, and it doesn't matter if you're wearing a shorts and t-shirt or on a suit on a red carpet. I feel like you can still wear these watches, and there's a versatility to them. The Carrera 01 I wear surfing, I wear it to the gym, I have it on today.
Tell me, I'm an Aussie, I'm so glad to have you back. Why did you come back to Australia after probably reaching a level in LA where you could have walked into anywhere?
Oh look, there was a period when I had to be there just purely for, the knocking on the door and auditions and meetings and so on. And then once I kind of got my foot in well enough and kind of was in a position where I didn't need to be there every day, we very quickly made the decision to come back home. And my wife, being from Spain, loves Australia obviously, and was like, yep. So it wasn't much of a conversation. Presently we have the luxury to sort of travel back and forth, and that's always been the dream for me, to sort of to work sort of around the world, but still, call Australia home and come back and have my kids grow up there, and in particular, on the beaches in northern New South Wales where we are now.
And look, I found when I had kids, my conception of time completely changed.
Yeah.
And you're very aware of your mortality. How did that affect the way you approached your career?
I think you kind of, it's all about you, before kids. It's sort of, who else is it about, and then you kind of go, you have children and you kind of still try to hang on to that, well, I am who I am and I have my thing, and then it just goes out the window, and you've got to realise that no, there's other people involved now and there's a bigger picture.
What is your dream as a dad? Because I often think, what is the vision of being a parent in a modern world where time just seems to fly past? They grow up so quick. Do you have a dream of being a dad?
Yeah, just to be present, and it's so easy to be distracted, and I feel like the more you look around these days, every second person's got their head sort of down on the phone, and you're sort of like looking at your kids and like, Dad, Mum, look at this, and it's like, yeah, it's cool, You think they're not paying attention, but they do, You have a close look and they kind of look up and they're like, okay, yeah, you're busy, it's work again, and that breaks my heart. So, my dream would be for them to talk about me as a parent one day and go, he was always there, he played with us, he was present, he listened, he paid attention, and that's what you teach them, because we then turn around and complain that our kids, they don't sit still long enough, and it's like, well, what kind of example are we setting?
They're on screens all the time.
They
monkey.
So I do think, we're all sort of guinea pigs a bit in these generations of, the iPad and so on, and I think we've got to start paying attention to what the ripple effect is.
A musical tip for us? This is just a random question.
Musical tip. The Teskey Brothers from Warrandyte in Melbourne, Australia. Soul, bluesy music, which it's quite unique in the sense that there's a couple of guys from Melbourne presenting that type of music, But check it out.
Done. Great. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. There you go.
There's a handshake for you. That's I'm going to have to get some ice on that.